Well, hello everyone. We definitely have a bit of a different look today. And I know it might sound a little different too, just because of the way I've had to set up today, because I want to show and share with you a bunch of organizational products. And I couldn't figure out a way to, I didn't want to be holding them up in front of the camera. So I've got a different camera, a bit of a more wide angle sort of viewpoint here so that I can share a little bit more easily. So you might have to adjust the volume because my microphone is just a little bit further away from me than it normally is. But I'll try to talk a little bit louder. And I see lots of gals coming in here. There's Sue from Oregon. Boston is with us. Puerto Rico is with us. Hello. There's Gina from Colorado. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy to be with you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Noreen Smith. I'm the Product Development Creative Manager for Creative Memories, and I get to be with you every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central on the YouTube channel, as well as the Creative Memories Virtual Crop Facebook group. Lots more gals hopping on here. Good morning from New South Wales, Australia. Hello from Minnesota. There's Tracy from New Mexico joining us. Hi from Texas, Ohio. I've got a fellow Albertan here from Lethbridge. Welcome. It's always lovely to see you guys as well. So I'm so thrilled to be here. And like I said, a little bit of a different setup, but I'm excited to show you lots of things and talk about getting organized this year. This might be the year that you sort of get yourself organized for your hobby. Okay. So I've got a couple of things. I've got a bunch of new products around here. I've got my computer and my switcher over here. And you can kind of see a little bit here behind me. Typically you see, this large storage unit behind me whenever I do a Facebook Live. But you can kind of see over there that that's my desk area. And then I don't think you can see much over there, but I have additional, furniture for my Cricut and stuff like that. So you're getting a bit of a peek into my scrapbook room. And, I think that organization and creativity go hand in hand. I've taught lots of people about organization. It's always something that I try to bring into classes that I teach, or, anytime people ask me, how do you keep your cardstock so organized, that kind of thing. So I really believe that, and we're going to talk about some of the ways you might consider organizing your scrapbook supplies. And then I'm going to talk about 4 new organizational products that Creative Memories just launched just a couple of days ago. So before we do that, I just want to show you on the Creative Memories website where you can find the all of the products that we're going to talk about today. Okay, so I'm on creativememories.ca because of course I'm in Canada, but you can go on to creativememories.com/au or .ca. And the easiest way, of course, you can go to the what's new, because that's going to show you all of the new products, all of the promos and specials. And there's the 4 new organizational products that we're going to talk about today. The large POD Tote, the POD Organizer Insert, the small Flex POD, and the Power Simple Sleeve. But you might be surprised to find out all of the other storage and organizational products that Creative Memories has. So if you want to see all of them, you want to go to the Shop tab and then come down here to Tools, Adhesives, Storage, and Pens. And that's where you'll find the storage and totes. Let's just let that load for a second. There we go. So there's the 4 that we're going to talk about, the 4 brand new products. But look at all of the other products that we have. So I do have most of those products, most of the ones that you're seeing here. I do have those kind of scattered around me or close at hand so I can reach them, because I know many of you are going to wonder how the new products work with some of the older products and how you can kind of create, a system for your organizational needs. Okay, so that's what I want to start off by talking about is assessing kind of your needs, because your needs are going to be different than everybody else's. And I do have some notes here, so if you see me glancing down, I'm just checking that I'm, giving you all of the information, because I think, the systematic approach is what's really going to make a difference for you. I find that because I have everything exactly where I need it, that works for me, and that is close at hand, I can be super efficient when I scrapbook. I can use even small little 5, 10, 15-minute blocks of time, and I can get a lot accomplished because I'm not spending that precious time looking for things or trying to organize things. So when everything has a place, it's so easy. So I want you to think in terms of systems, first of all, okay? And even when you watch things like, like the home edit, or when you watch videos about, like Marie Kondo, when you watch organizational experts, they talk about a lot of the same things that we can transfer into the scrapbook room. So I think that one of the things that we're not very good at as women sometimes, and maybe as crafters, is we love to buy supplies, but then we might feel a little bit guilty about spending more money on proper storage and organization. And I'm just going to try and keep an eye on any comments that are coming in here and questions as well. But I want you to think, put your hat on in terms of maybe your husband golfs. Maybe your kids play hockey or figure skate, or maybe they're in dance or things like that. And I want you to think about your paper crafting and scrapbooking hobby in the same way that your husband might think about his golf hobby, or that your kids think about their sports and extracurricular. So I doubt that your husband would probably, kind of wrap a bungee cord around his golf clubs and tuck them under his arm, and then throw all of his golf balls and the golf gloves and the golf shoes, into a Safeway grocery shopping bag, and, truck off to go play golf, right? He's going to need to have something that he will be able to store and organize and protect and transport all of his golf clubs and golf paraphernalia, right? So same with, if you have a son or a daughter who plays hockey, big, huge duffel bags needed for all of that hockey gear. And again, it's not so much that, you have to use that, but those products are designed to, again, store, organize, protect, and transport the products and the equipment that they need for their hobby. So I want, if you've been sort of thinking to yourself, oh, I'd like to buy some organizational products, but it's okay that I'm just using this Safeway grocery bag to keep all my papers together. Think of your hobby, your equipment, your supplies, your tools as an investment that deserves to be sorted and organized, protected, portable if you need it to be, and just, again, organized so that you can use them properly. Okay, so I think sometimes as women, as crafters, sometimes we give ourselves a little bit of a excuse not to get organized or purchase organizational products that work the best for what they're designed for. So give yourself permission to think about that. And I'm going to share some of my systems with you. And then we're also going to talk about your own needs. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few scenarios, and I want you to kind of think about which one of these scenarios you fit into. So I typically work from home. I sometimes go out to an event like a crop or a retreat as a participant. I typically don't teach or hold those events anymore. I did years ago when I was an advisor. So you might be a scrapbooker and paper crafter who works at home typically, and maybe you don't have a dedicated space. So maybe you work at the dining room table or the kitchen table when you have a chance. So you probably need some organizational solutions that you can put everything in, move it to another area, and store it out of sight, and then bring it back to the table, when you need it. So that's your type of organizational need. You're going to need to think about what system works for me to do that. You might be a home crafter that has a dedicated craft space. So maybe you have this unit, this is a Kallax unit from IKEA. The previous I think the previous version of that was called Expedite. And I know that there's a lot of other cube storage organizational products that are available. I think I've seen our friends in Australia talk about a store called Bunnings. And my friends in the US talk about the Better Homes and Gardens cube storage. Here in Canada, we've got IKEA and we've got Closet Made. So there's a variety of different styles of that same sort of thing. But maybe you have something like this and you want something to put your cardstock in, your tools, all your paper collections, that kind of thing. And you want it to be able to be accessible for when you're working in your space, but maybe you also want to be able to pack it up and take it with you to a crop or a retreat. Maybe you go on a weekend retreat every once in a while. So you have to think about those things when you're choosing your organizational system. Now, there's a lot of you out there who are Creative Memories advisors. Now, some of you have space at home to host your own crops. So, you keep your products at home. People come to your home. You host crops and classes. So you probably need some display, some storage. You need it to be easily accessible and look really professional for your customers when they come. So that's your needs for your system. And then if you're an advisor who does not host your events at home and who's always taking your products to another venue for your crops and your retreats, or maybe you attend a lot of vendor events and vendor sales, you need something where you can store, organize and store, and again, transport. So all of these types of crafters have different needs, but I'm going to show you, and we're going to talk specifically about those 4 new products. But I think all of you are going to be able to put yourself in those kind of, put your thinking caps on as to what you need and think about how these pieces can help you. So again, whether you're at home and you need to tuck it away out of sight, you're at home and you need it easily accessible, you have customers come into your home, so you need it for display, or you need to transport it elsewhere. All of these products will work in some degree for those scenarios, okay? So again, it's going to be different for everybody, but I think there's going to be something for everybody here. Now, I always say, you probably heard me say that there's no wrong way to scrapbook, right? So again, there's no wrong way to organize. The reason we organize is so that we don't spend time, our precious time that we have so little of. We want to use every minute of it to be engaged in our hobby, not to be looking for things, finding things, cleaning up after ourselves. We really want to make the most use of our time. And when you have those 15-minute blocks, I talk a lot about the power of, 15. And when you've got 15 minutes, you can actually get a lot done if you are organized, okay? So like I said, organization and creativity, I think, really go together. It is easier to be creative when your supplies and your tools are organized, all right? It is easier to scrapbook quickly when your supplies and tools are organized, all right? So think about this as an investment in your time, your sanity, protecting the products that you have purchased, and making more efficient use of your time and your energy. Okay? All right, let me see if I've covered everything on here. All right, let's get into it a little bit and talking about some of these specific products. Now, when an organizational, expert comes to your home and says, let's look at all of the stuff. If you were lucky enough to have someone come in to organize your craft room, they would say, let's go through and sort. That would be the first step. So you'd, find a space, you'd sort everything out, you'd assess how much you have of each thing. And you'd probably do your purging at the same time. You'd probably be getting rid of things that you won't be using anymore. But once you've sorted and purged, you're going to group all of those like things together. And I think sometimes this is where a lot of us crafters kind of, we skip ahead. We see a great, a great storage item, and we just start putting stuff in it. So sometimes we forget to go through the sorting and the grouping. And think about your craft room like your kitchen, right? When you're in your kitchen and you want to efficiently prepare a meal, you're going to keep all your baking tools together. You're going to keep all your food storage tools together. You're going to keep all of the food serving things together, the plates, the cups, the serving dishes. You're going to keep all your cutlery together and all of your, cooking tools, spatulas and large spoons and that kind of thing together. Otherwise, you'd be looking in 10 different places all the time for that one spatula that you need. So think about it in that idea of grouping like with like, and we're going to create some zones. So if we use my system behind me, it's changed over the years too, right? I used to live in a house where I had a large basement area and I could kind of spread out, and I had to do a lot of purging when I left that space. I scrapbook in a standard kind of, second bedroom, a kid's size or a spare size bedroom. So this Calex unit has been a real lifesaver, and it keeps everything handy. So of course I have my border maker system behind me. All of my current, and I'll talk about that in a second, all of my current border and frame punches are over here, and all of my current standalone punches are there. All of my cardstock is grouped together in Roy G. Biv order, rainbow order, and because as my background is an art teacher, that's just sort of the way I think. And then all of my paper packs, all of my collections are down here. Very easy for me to grab. And the reason that I organize like this is because I think in terms of color and I think in terms of collection. So I really encourage you, the next time you sit down to make a layout, that you think about your process. What do you reach for first? Do you always go through your photos first and kind of plan out what photos will be on a layout and then reach for your products? Or do you start with your products and say, I want to make a layout with this collection, and I'm going to start with that first? Do you start by thinking about colors, or do you start by thinking about specific collections? I like, sorry, I'll just grab this as an example. I like to keep everything from a collection just in the plastic bag that they come in, and I put these little tags on them. So it's easy for me to think about the collection. Okay, so that's another thing that you're going to have to think about. What works for you? Now, I mentioned that these are current. The border makers, I've got a few more that have been retired, but the standalone punches and the border punches, those are current ones. And why? Because for the work that I do, I want to be able to grab a product that is not retired and be able to use it very quickly. Because I make samples and teach with different, current products, I don't want to have my retired products over here. They actually live, the ones that I decide to keep, they actually live in some drawers that I'm facing that you can't see, but are on the opposite side of the room. So those are little used tools. So why would I keep, keep them with big real estate, right? Prime real estate, they call it. Anything that you can reach, anything that's within, arm's length is prime real estate. So what do you want to keep in your prime real estate? So those are kind of the steps. And again, I'm just making sure I go through all of this. Those are kind of the steps that you're going to need to do or think about before you decide which of these organizational products is going to work for you. Okay, I'm just going to look and see if I've got any big questions here. A great way to think of my supplies and organizational products. I'm glad. Oh, thank you. Somebody's commenting on my hair. Yes, I did get a haircut. So thank you very much for noticing. Yeah, a lot of these kinds of things are things that we don't spend the time thinking about. So I hope that these kinds of tips can help you. Because even if you bought this fantastic new, large POD tote, if you don't have a purpose for it, if you don't know how you're going to use it, it's just going to be something that either adds clutter to your space, or it's not going to be, you're not going to feel like it was a worthwhile purchase because you're not using it as part of a system. And that systematic approach is what's really going to help you have a good time scrapbooking. You're going to want to come into your scrapbook space and scrapbook. You're going to know exactly where everything is. You're going to be able to use your time wisely, and you're going to be able to go to events and crops very easily. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the 4 new products. So I've got them here. So this is the new Small Flex Pod. Okay. And I'll talk about why it's called Flex in a second. I mentioned that this is the large POD tote. Then we've got the PODs insert, and then we've got the Power Simple sleeve. So let's talk about each one of those. And for those of you who are wondering, it was in the advisor email this week. But if you're wondering what PODs stands for, you could give it your own acronym. Practical. What did they say? Practical organization and durable storage, or portable organization and durable storage. It could be any of those things. But the term actually comes from old code, 20, 25 years ago, when they brought out products that were for advisors only, consultants they were called at the time, for professional organizational display systems. So they were meant to display the products that you had for sale. So lucky for us, of course, that new CM, back and better than ever, of course, has responded to our needs for storage. So let's start by talking about the Power Simple Sleeve, because this is the product that I have seen the most questions about online. And so again, if you have a question here, I may not see it as we're talking today, but definitely put your question in there and I will try to get back to you on it. Okay, so Power Simple Sleeves. These are an in-between type of storage system that is so versatile. So they are 12.5 inches square, and they are gusseted along the 2 sides. So I hope you can see that as you kind of poke your finger down, it increases the width. So it widens up to about 1/2 inch in width. And you'll notice that they are only attached on 2 sides. And that's for a very good reason. The idea behind the Power Simple Sleeves is to, again, use it as a kind of an in-between. It is perfect for organizing a specific color of cardstock. So I've already put my red cardstock in here, and it does come with a package of 5 little tabs, okay, that you can see. So these are perfect for when you want to store it in something like this. So I've got my red cardstock here, and I'm just going to turn. You might not be able to hear me, so I'm going to try not to talk while my back is turned to you. But I'm just going to slide it into my system. And because the tab is sticking out, I'm going to be able to pull out all of my red cardstock really quickly. Now, I love the fact that it is open on this side because, for example, if I take out a piece and I cut maybe a mat from it, or I punch some shapes from it, I can simply slide that leftover piece right back in there super easily. I don't even have to take it out from my storage system. Okay, so it's perfect in something like that. It also will fit. Remember I said I've got everything around me here, so let me just get our Power Project folder. So the if you had, for example, I've got the Serenity collection here. Okay, so there's 2 paper packs. So maybe you want to store your collection inside a Power Project folder. You could take the Fast2Fab Inspired pages, put them inside here. Okay, you could take them out of the bag if you want, or leave them in the bag. And then that whole thing will fit inside your Power Project folder. So you can use it as an organizer within an organizer. Or maybe you want to bring, a couple of different Power Project folders with you on a scrapbook retreat or crop. So maybe you're going to put a project inside. So again, maybe you're going to add some photos to this. You've already got a sketch picked out and you've photocopied it and slipped it inside. You've got your collection. You can also add some cardstock to it, and then that whole thing can go. Okay? So I know that some of you will think, well, obviously it fits in that Kallax cube system. How does it fit inside the Power, not the Power, how does it fit inside the project, how does it fit inside the POD Tote? So let me show you that, of course, it fits inside here. Let's talk about this here now for a second. And I'm just having a bunch of comments that are coming down here. Let me see here. Will the pods fit in the old CM carts? I do not know. So there's a couple of pieces that I don't have myself. I do not have an old, one of the rolling carts that was just recently retired. So I'm not sure. It does appear that it will, but I have not been able to test it. The other thing that I do not have here, because I organize all my tools here and they don't go away from the house, I do not have a tools organizer. So I can't tell you about that, but I'm pretty sure it will fit in. There's enough space, but it's way too tall. It will stick out, so you won't be able to close it. All right, I just have one of the Power layout boxes inside here because I was just playing around with what fits. But let's get back to that simple sleeve. Of course, you could take your simple sleeve and put it inside the POD Tote. I'm just going to see if I can show you. It does stick up just a tiny, tiny bit, but there's lots of room from side to side. So with the POD Tote, the lid is attached. It's got the lid zips around, 2 zippers, and then you can meet it in the middle. And then you can see just that little piece there, maybe about 3/4 of an inch thick. So it will slide down and just, stay at the back very, very nicely, but it does not detach. But when you have, again, I'll put this back in just to give it a little bit of sturdiness. When you have your boxes, I happen to have a secret box number 1. That would fit inside here. And then I might have several, packs of cardstock and a few of my simple sleeves. Even though that sticks up just a touch, it will still close. I'll pop in the new Serenity album there. And again, you can see that just sticks up just a tiny bit, but it will zip close because that little sort of hinge piece from the zipper, that will give you a little bit of space, okay? Now, the Power Project folders will not fit. They fit width-wise, and if you are going to occasionally go out of the house and you need a transporting, with closed lid, this still might work for you. Let me grab one. So you can see, though, that it sticks up just a bit. Now, because that's just the little tabs, it really isn't too big a deal if that part gets folded over. So again, if you're always going to another venue, then you may not want this. You may want to stick with the display tote, which is taller. But if if you're using this occasionally, using it maybe to store and sort and organize at home, and then occasionally to head out and go to an event, then you could still get it closed. Okay, but just recognize that it would fold over these tab parts just a little bit. Okay, another question. Let's get all this stuff out. Of course, it's lots and lots of a good amount of storage inside. And I'll just point out that the bottom, there's a bottom heavy card stock that comes, or covered card, I guess, that comes with it. And when you receive it, it will be folded flat like this. Okay, so that's how it'll get shipped to you. So then when you open it up and you lay that piece down to make the firm bottom. One of the things I really love about this is that it's got the blue interior, so it's very easy to see things inside. And then you'll notice that it also has the little card holder at the front, and you could put a business card, but of course you could just, cut down a piece of scrap cardstock if you wanted to label it as well. And then you might have noticed when I turned it around, it's got the trolley sleeve. So those of you who are asking about the old, recently retired rolling cart, or any cart that would have like a telescopic handle, like a suitcase, it will fit over that. It's about a hand width for your sleeve. So as long as your telescoping handle is, smaller than a hand width wide, it will work. And then very sturdy handles on the side. Okay. All right. So I know that there's been lots of questions. How can I use the new pod to display cardstock at events? So again, if you trying to remember not to turn my back. But if you have products that you're going to sell, if you're an advisor, you could definitely put all of the, your cardstock, your paper packs inside these pods. Then you could take them with you to the event and then simply open up the lid. People, love to kind of flip through and look through. So you don't have to do anything else. You could just keep all of your products for sale, cardstock, paper packs, that kind of thing, and just literally open the lid. But the other thing you could do is, if you wanted to have more of a display, you could see, I should have thought of this ahead of time, but oftentimes you can get those file folder wire stands. You could see if one of those would fit in there, and then raise your cardstock up just a little bit, or your paper packs. Okay, let me show you in comparison. Let me get this stuff out of the way now. I knew I was going to get overrun by all of the products here before long. So let me clear this out, and we'll do a quick comparison of the POD's tote versus the display case. Okay. So let me just grab these out. Okay. So right off the bat, you can see that this one is a little taller, and it has an angled zipper. Okay, so if you're looking for display, this might be a better example for you, because when you put your products inside, people are going to be able to see them a little bit more. Plus, hope you can see this, it also has a divider. There's Velcro on the sides, and there's a divider piece that you can adjust. So you could have your cardstock in one part and then your paper packs in another. So if display is your primary objective, you might want to consider the display tote, paper display case, I think it's called, over the POD's tote. If you want to store it at home, though, this will not fit. And I took out one of my sections of paper storage in my Kallax unit, because I wanted to show you what fits in some of the home storage versus what doesn't. So this is too big. It will not fit inside the Kallax unit. Okay. So great for display. And I actually have a couple of these. I don't know if you can see. I keep products that are future products that I need to have easy access to, but I don't want to keep on my shelf for future launches. So when I'm working on a product launch, or when I'm working on a project with some new products, that's where I keep the products. And I have them on a shelf across from me. So still easy access. I keep it open. I can flip through very easily. Okay, so again, going back to the POD's tote, it fits in beautifully. So this is where you have to sort of think about what is going to work best for me. I work from home. Storing things inside my Kallax unit is more important to me than displaying something at a vendor event. So this is going to work really well for me. And I'll just show you that that's pressed up against the side. I think I could probably get 2 albums beside each tote. So I could put a tote and 2 albums in each cube, okay? Or a tote and, several packs of cardstock, or a tote and a few of the simple sleeves. All right. So that works really, really well for my situation. So I would love to hear if that is going to work for you or not. I just see a question here. Why make a case that is too small for those folders? So an inch would have done the trick. But for many people who wanted storage for their Kallax unit, that would not have worked. And we would have the same kind. Where did it go? We'd have the same kind of problem. If it was an inch taller, it would basically be the same size as the display case and would not fit in this kind of storage. So again, CM is really listening to all of the different kinds of requests, in that we've got advisors who need to take things out and display them for sale. We've got people who are home crafters who wanted things to fit inside Kallax and cube storage units, fit on, standard size shelves. If you have tried this before, the Power Project folders don't fit in these types of units either. You actually have to stand them on their side. So having said that, I might have to stand up for this. I mentioned that you won't be able to fit your Power Project folders in this way, but they do fit in sideways. Now, that's not optimal, but again, if you're using these occasionally and you want to transport them, they will fit in sideways and then it will zip up. Okay? So again, we can't, unfortunately, there's not a one size fits all when it comes to storage. Just like when you go and you're looking for storage for your kitchen, your cupboard is going to be a different size than somebody else's cupboard. Your needs and your baking pans are going to be a different size than somebody else's. There's not that one size fits all. So I would, strongly encourage you to think about, if you're looking for a box, which of these boxes would work best for you. If you have them sitting on a table and you take them to an event, when you've got products to sell, I would use the display case. If you want to store things at home, if you need to tuck it away, if it fits in a cube storage unit for you, then I would choose the new POD Tote. Okay, so again, it's not meant to make you purchase more or different. It's just responding to different requirements. Okay. Okay. And somebody's saying, I know that the new Michaels cubes, the modular Michaels cubes that many of us have, they're actually, I think, 14 by 14, or maybe they're even 16 by 16. So somebody is mentioning that the display case, which is this one with the angle, that actually fits in the Michaels cubes. So that is great to know. Okay, we could talk about this forever, I know. All right, let's move on to another product, another one of the new products, and that's the POD's Organizer Insert. Now, I love this, but it works for me. because I work from home. I am going to use this. Let's look at it first here. Same kind of thing. It will come flat packed, okay? And 2 of these will fit in your large POD Tote. So you open it up and you slip that heavy card insert along the bottom, and you've got an open storage that is perfect for a collection or a project. Where did my album go? There it is. Okay, so I can put an album, I can put a couple of paper packs, I can put a pack of cardstock, and maybe a couple of my simple sleeves. Okay, so I can load that up and I can have that maybe just sitting on the corner of my desk, and everything I need for my project is in there. I would even go so far as to, if I had a new tool that I wanted to use, I would just tuck that in there. If I had a sleeve of photos that I just got back from the developer, I would maybe put that in there too. So again, there's still lots of room. So you could probably get 2 projects in there. And then if that's the way I choose to work at home, then it's super easy to put this inside. And where's the other one? I have another one. Oh, there it is. It's on my desk. So, and then I can put, 2 separate PODS organizer inserts right inside. So they fit beautifully. So there's 2 organizer inserts inside my PODS Tote. Then I can zip it on up, no problem, and take the whole thing with me. So that is a very convenient way to kind of combine my at-home storage and my on-the-go transportation, my portable storage. So I think that I will be using the inserts quite a bit. And again, for me, I don't need the closed storage so much. I need things that are accessible. So I can put my projects into the organizer inserts and slip them into my cube storage. Okay, and I still have a little bit of room there. And you'll notice that on the storage inserts, the little sleeve, I guess, I don't know what to call it, but you can just put a little label, slip a little label into that clear identifier so that it's easy to know which project this is. So again, that's going to work really well for me. It may not work for you. If you're an advisor, this might be a way to, again, keep everything. Maybe you're going to put, again, all your cardstock in here and all your paper packs in another one. Then when you get to your venue where you want to display your products, you take these out, you line them up on a table, and people can easily look through it. It makes it a little bit more approachable. It's not, a big, huge bin of things to look through. It's just a smaller grouping of things. Okay. So hopefully you can see how you might want to use these. Now, again, I know people will ask, so I have them out, and I just thought I would show you. Again, maybe you're going to go to a crop with secret box number 1, and you're going to join me for the live unboxing and the tutorial. So you want to bring your secret box, and you want to put some cardstock in there. You're not sure what's in there, so maybe you're going to bring 2 or 3 different colors of cardstock, and you're going to be able to put that inside your PODS Tote and take it with you, or inside your rolling cart, for example. Okay? All right. So that is the organizer, which I really, really like. So the last new product is the small Flex Pods. And it's called Flex Pods because it is not rigid like the PODS Tote and organizer insert. So it is flexible. It's also flexible in the sense of the word that you can use it for a variety of things. Okay? Oh, we're going to talk about the trimmer in just a second, I promise, because I know that's a big question too. So I'm just going to open this. I'm just going to show you how I've got it organized right off the bat here. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 adhesive refills in there of various kinds. And then plus I have Post-it notes, my 2 cases of refills. I've got multi-purpose tool, a couple of our basic dual tip pens. I've got my microtip scissors, my all-purpose scissors, pen, pencil, and eraser. Okay, so that's one way that you can divide this up to suit your needs. And just like with some of the other products, it is convertible. Okay, so this is it empty, and this one will come packed flat like this, and it's got a divider with the Velcro on it. And because the inside is Velcro, you can literally put it wherever you like. So maybe you need a small little section for your pens, but then you're going to bring 2 of your CCS sets, and maybe you're even going to throw in, you know, a package of foam squares, so you need a little bit bigger space there. It's really adaptable. Now this will fit inside the organizer insert, right? Because it's not too deep. You still got lots of space, and of course will fit inside the pod as well. All right. Now, I think that one of the things that would be really good if you're thinking about what system is going to work for you, after you've decided or after you kind of identified what your needs are, again, whether you're at home, you on the go, advisor, non-advisor, etc. Think about what you need to store. So again, if it's mostly papers and you want to store them upright, this might be a great solution. If it's mostly papers, but you want to store them in sort of kind of stackable containers, then maybe this paper box, the 12 by 12 plastic paper box, would be the better solution for you. You know, so there's a variety of different ways. So each person is going to need different storage needs. Okay, so I hope that has helped. Now, the trimmer. Okay, the trimmer does not fit in the pods. The trimmer fits in the tools organizer, which I feel really bad that I don't actually have to show you. Again, and think about it this way. The organizers are meant for your, you know, your paper products, your boxes, your, you know, sorting your projects, all of that kind of thing. And the tools organizer is meant for your tools. It's meant for your border maker system. It's meant for your standalone punches. And it is sized for your trimmer. Your trimmer fits along the top. You can tuck this down there. So again, there's not a one size fits all. And I know some people are going to say, well, why couldn't they have made the POD Tote big enough for the trimmer? So if I had, it will fit this way. So if in a pinch, you can get it in there, okay? But it will not fit in here tall ways. But again, the trimmer doesn't fit in your Kallax unit either. So your storage for different things needs to be different. All right. So for me, I actually store it in a kind of a slot underneath my desk. And when I do go, I have one of the old style tote bags that this will fit in. So if you are looking for something that will hold your trimmer, you'll definitely want to look at the tools organizer. Now, again, some people will say, well, I want something that does it all. And that's always really difficult to find, right? It's difficult to find that in a golf bag. It's difficult to find that in a hockey bag. You know, you sort of have to assess what are the most important things and put your money and your, you know, investment into those products that will work for the most important things. So again, if you go away to crops, I would think that for me, the tools organizer that I can put my trimmer, my border maker system, some of my border maker cartridges, and a couple of punches would be really important. Then I might have the POD Tote where I can put all of my 12 by 12 papers, an album or two, my cardstock, some of the simple sleeves with some of my projects organized into it. Maybe power project folders, because again, I won't mind if the little tabs get kind of just bent slightly. And then I might take, this little flex pod for my small pieces and put that in the POD Tote. So I would need to bring two things. Yes, my POD Tote, my large POD Tote, and my tool organizer. But they both have handles. And I know you guys, I have seen the amount of stuff that people bring to events, right? If you go on a weekend retreat, we see people bringing in carts, hotel carts of different kinds of containers. So bringing two containers is actually a pretty great thing. And I would be organized and I would be ready and I would be able to use my time and the space at my retreat really, really well. Okay. Whew. I tell you, I've talked a lot, but and we're over our time that we normally spend together, but it is such a huge, huge topic. So I would love to hear. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few different things that people are saying here. Theirs is coming soon. They're excited to try it. If you have been on the fence, if you didn't know what you wanted to actually purchase, then I encourage you to think about those steps that I was mentioning earlier. Think about your situation and space. Do you need it for home storage, for to transport, portable storage to take to events, a combination of both? Do you need it for display and storage of items that you're selling if you're an advisor? All of those things are going to influence your decision as to which products are the best for you. Okay, then I would have a look on the website. I'm going to go back here really quickly onto the computer, and I'm just going to switch my screen over here again. And remember that I showed you, if you weren't with us at the very beginning, I showed you that you can go into shop and then tools, adhesives, storage and pens, and storage and totes. And when you are looking at any of these products, you'll want to click on it and look at the description. Okay, because the description will give you the width, the height, the depth, and it will let you know, that will be important information for you to know, especially if you're trying to fit it into a certain type of bookcase, shelving unit, etc. Okay, so don't forget to go in and look at the description there for all of the information. That way, you'll be able to make a bit better decision as to what's going to work in your space, what's going to be able to be moved if you need it. Okay. Remember, our goals are to store, to organize, to protect your investment, because we spend a lot of money on our supplies and our tools. We want to protect them. And then to transport. Okay. Sorry, that was only 4. I was showing 5. Sort and store, organize, protect, and transport. So think about those things as you're deciding which of the new products or the existing products are going to work for your organizational needs. Okay? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. There is a comment here. Trimmer will fit in between 2 pod inserts in a Kallax square nicely. So I'm assuming that you put them, I'm assuming that you're talking about like that, and then putting your trimmer like that. Again, depending on how far you have it from the wall, it might stick out. But yeah, that's a good solution. If you keep it in your box, in its box, it will stand up even better than that. So those are great suggestions, and I would love to see again some of your other best storage solutions. Share those in the comments after the video here, after our broadcast, because that's going to really help other people. You know yourself that, you're looking at your space and you think, I wonder if anybody's ever tried this. So you get online, you Google it, and you try to figure out if it will work for you. So definitely, if you've got some tips, if you've used some of these products in a certain way and you think that works fabulous for me, definitely share that, because it might also work for another person's situation. Okay? I'm glad. Kylie's asking, can I put the link up, please? I'm not sure what link you're looking for, Kylie, but you'll want to go on to either creativememories.com, creativememories.ca, creativememories.com/au. Go to the shop tab and then scroll down to the storage and totes. That's where you'll find them all. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Again, a ton of information, but it's a big topic because we have a lot of stuff and we want to protect it especially. So I think it's a really good thing. Let's talk about next week. So next week, Wednesday, January 25th, we are actually going to get back and doing some scrapbooking. You're going to spend this week getting organized. And then next week, we're going to scrapbook together. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about Fast2Fab, but this time looking at the Fast2Fab Inspired Papers. So the Serenity collection has Fast2Fab Inspired Paper Pack and a regular paper pack. So you're going to want to have that. I've also listed the other Serenity products that I'll probably be using, including the two new tools that came out with Serenity Collection. And then just a reminder that if you like all of that particular collection, you'll want to take advantage of the Serenity Buy It All bundle by January 27th. So that's next Friday. And that way you can receive all of the products that have an asterisk beside them in the checklist of supplies here at a discounted price. Okay, so again, let's just, you can always have a look online under the what's new, and you'll see right there that there's that Serenity Buy It All bundle. So you do save a little bit, I think just about $10 off when you purchase that Buy It All bundle within the, again, I think it's about the first 10 days of the product launch. So it's a great way to get all the products in a collection at a slightly reduced price, save a little bit, put that towards your storage and organizing. I will tell you, though, that I will not be here live next week. I get to travel to home office next week. I'm very excited because I have not been to home office, Creative Memories home office before. So I'm traveling for some quarterly meetings and meeting some of the advisors who earned an incentive trip recently. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I will be in Minnesota next Wednesday. I'm hoping that I can share a couple of pics or maybe a quick little live video with you. But the Fast and Fun episode next week, Wednesday, January 25th, will be a pre-recorded video. Okay. But again, we're going to be able to make a layout together. If you have all of your Serenity products ready to go, you'll be able to scrap right along with me. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Again, we've been together for almost an hour. I have talked your ear off. I've given you lots to think about. I hope you think about it a little bit more in depth about what will work specifically for your situation and look at all of the different products to see what will fit you best. Okay? All right. So I'll see you back here live in 2 weeks. But tune in next week for the Serenity pre-recorded video. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.